Hi, good day, I'm Ronaldo. I'm the Managing Director of Rise Projects and also the Creative Director of Rise Design. Today I've got Charlton Williams here with us. He's the Sales Director of Empire Wealth, which is a property investment company that assists property investors in looking at investable product in regards to stock, real estate for their portfolios. Charlton has been in the property game for over 12 to 15 years in various capacities. He was also a estate agent, so he basically knows the questions that needs to be asked towards a real estate agent, and that's basically the topic of this video today. But Charlton, over to you. Give us some pointers what to ask your estate agent.
Ronaldo, we could possibly sit here for hours at end going through a whole list of questions to ask, but if we can just break it down to a few basic questions that I believe each client, each buyer should ask an estate agent, especially if you're a first-time buyer. I think all estate agents are governed by the Estate Agency Affairs Board, and it's always important for you as a buyer to ask that estate agent, can I please see your Fidelity Fund certificate? Because that will also be able to put you at ease that you're dealing with a reputable agent and a reputable company. What you could do as well is go on to the Estate Agency Affairs Board website and actually put in that agent's name, and it will let you know if that agent is qualified.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't even know that.
So some of the things to look at when you're buying a property, I think you need to ascertain from the actual agent how long this property has been on the market. That will give you a good idea as to what potential offer to make on that property. One of the good tools that's out there and is free for everybody is Property 24. If you look at the ad on Property 24, it normally tells you at the bottom how long the property has been listed for. And usually if a property is listed for months on end, you know that there's something wrong, and it's usually with regards to price. So keep that in mind. What you can ask your estate agent for actually is a Lightstone or property report. That will also give us details of how long the current owners has been in the property, how many times the property has sold over the lifespan of the property, and that will also give an indication of possibly the area. If it's a place where people are selling 3, 4, 5 years after each other, possibly means that there's also not something right with the area. Plans. I think plans are an important thing in your industry.
Yes, absolutely.
So asking if there are valid plans for the property. Sometimes owners actually do alterations and extensions without submitting plans, and that can bite the new owner in the behind at a later stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know the importance of that.
Yeah, I also, how do you mention it? It's also quite important that when you are in it for a reno flip scenario where you want to do a renovation and put it back onto the market, if you don't have the updated plans or the as-built plans, it would postpone where you want to actually sell the property. So it becomes your responsibility to get the plans up to date and not the previous owner. So that can, like I always say, it can kill the deal. So yeah, that's extremely important. Yeah.
One thing I mentioned about Lightstone previously. Lightstone will also give you who the current owner is. So if you do plan to put in an offer for that property, make sure that it actually corresponds with that owner's name on the paper. You hear funny stories out there where people are selling properties that's not theirs, and people are paying deposits and they lose big money on these things.
No, I've read on some blogs lately, it's quite the case, and they build, and then the owner comes out of the woodworks, and then he's like, oh, thank you very much, you've just built on my property, you know. Yeah, that must be bad.
I think one thing to ask as well is you walk into a property, you see all these lovely fixtures and fittings, and you envision you living there with all these lovely things. An important thing to ask is, what is all included in the sale? Is this beautiful chandelier included in the sale? Is the gas oven and hob, gas stove, is that included in the sale? And if so, let it be in writing. Always make sure whatever you agree on, that it is in writing, because that will just protect you at the end of the day. Another important thing, I think, ask them about the neighbors. These are simple things, but if you're buying to live there, you want to know more or less what it is living in that area. Ask them about the neighbors. Is the neighborhood quiet area? Are the neighbors quiet? Ask them about schooling if you have kids and young kids, because you don't want to love a house and sign for it, and a few months later, when the kids need to go to school, or years later, you find out that there's nothing in the surrounding areas for your actual kids.
So basically, it would be also amenities. Like is there a library? Is there schools, as you mentioned? Is there shops? Or things that will make your life easier in the immediate vicinity. I would imagine that will be also very, it will also have benefit value at a later stage when you want to sell again. So yeah, great. That's a good point.
And never be afraid to ask for a second viewing or even a third viewing. And this time around, I would say surround yourself by a power team. You know the meaning of power team. People that are industry experts, people that know building, someone that knows something about foundation or the roof. Bring someone along that can actually guide you in it, because buying a property, that's your most expensive asset. So you don't want to buy and 6 months later find out that you weren't informed about something and now it's creeping up, because that could cost you in the long run.
Absolutely, especially when you buy a new property. I think having defects that you weren't aware of, you're sort of just into the market now, and then suddenly something quite expensive pops up, and your cash flow is sometimes a little bit tight, and then you have to spend money on that, and that's the last thing that you want to do. It's quite early in your bond term. Yeah.
Absolutely. Will the owner accept offers, and has there been any other offers made? I think that's also something important. If you're looking at it from an investment point of view, you would like to know these things, because you'd like to buy it at the lowest possible price at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And also not to put if there's already offers on the table, I would imagine that, that you are aware of it, because that will just counter the fact of the disappointment if you don't get the property, So I think that is quite important, then, so that you know that you shouldn't stop looking, so that you actually know that you've got an offer in, but there is other offers, but you can still peruse the websites and other agencies for other properties to have a plan B, C, D, and so forth.
These are small and simple questions actually, but what about asking the estate agent how he got to that selling price?
Yeah.
We know the market, and we know the market has been determined in a sense by us in the industry as estate agents.
Yeah.
So how did that estate agent actually come to this price? Or was it the owner that said, listen, this is what I want to achieve, don't bring me any offers lower than this is what I want?
Yeah. You don't want a thumb suck for the agent, and also just maybe, we're all in it to make money, but also for the client to actually save money. It's important to ask that questions, because if the owner only wants to settle for X, but the estate agent is listing it for Y, then ask the question why. Pardon the pun.
and in property, if you look, especially investment property, you make your money when you buy at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
You don't want to buy the most expensive house in the nicest area. You want to try and buy the cheapest house, the nicest looking house in the best area.
No, yeah, absolutely.
So try to gauge from the estate agent what is it that this owner is willing to accept.
Okay.
And I know as estate agents, I was asked the questions many times, many years ago. We can't disclose, not allowed to disclose what owners is willing to accept. But find out if there was any offers before, why the offers were not accepted, for instance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That would give you also bargaining power, but also to be realistic, and that the agent can also think, that he's been treated fair, that you're not bullying him into lowering the price, I would imagine.
And I think one thing I neglected to say earlier, before you start your journey in looking for property, be it your first home, be it an investment, speak to the guys at Uber or Betterbond and have a pre-qualification done. That pre-qualification certificate will help you get a property instead of the next person. It could be that there's two people wanting the property, and because you're pre-qualified and have a certificate, you might stand a better chance.
Time-wise, would you say?
Time-wise, absolutely, absolutely.
Because if they know you're pre-qualified, obviously you sort of ranked better in the approval, if I can call it that.
Yeah. I think we could probably chat on hours and hours.
We do chat a lot, you know, from time to time, and yes, we can.
Okay. Now the important thing, I think, asking for home inspection. If you don't have that power team around you to help you and assist you in this, ask if a home inspection can be done. There's companies like Home Inspect a Home. They'd come out and they charge minimal fee, and they do a report for you on everything from the foundation to the roof. That also gives you a good indication as to what could possibly go wrong. I know that estate agents and home buyers don't necessarily like that, but remember that you are buying an asset, and probably your biggest asset, and you want to make sure that it is secure. So if it was me, I would ask for something like that.
I think it would also be great, because then you've got sort of a basis that if something comes alight that needs repair or attention, that you can actually sort of have that budget in the back of your mind, what it probably would cost. Yeah. And then you can make a calculated decision on if that offer is fair. Would you be able to do that renovation after purchasing the property? I think that would be extremely wise. And I know I've seen that the reports are quite cost effective, but that's normally when you're about, you know, when your offer has been taken seriously, and then you can actually say to the agent or the seller, listen, I want to do this report.
Absolutely. And having a look at the offer to purchase, before even signing, ask that the estate agent to send you a copy of the offer to purchase. Have a look over it. If there's something that you're not sure of, give that person a call, or have someone in your power team to have a look at it for you and advise you on it.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think that, you know, they just give the offer before they actually see the contract, in a sense. And I think to pre-scrutinize and peruse through that gives you actually the power to actually understand the property even better. No, that's actually a thing that I haven't done a lot, and I think I should do that more aggressively. Not aggressively, bad word, but be more preemptive regards to reading through the contract or the offer to purchase prior to making an offer.
I think we should catch up again, and perhaps next time chat about investment property and what you should look at when buying investment property, and the right questions to ask when dealing with investment property.
I think that is a good idea. I think there's a lot of people that want to invest into property, especially Western Cape, but also in Johannesburg, Durban, and so on. And the market is growing, and you know, it's I'm going to say the best investment you can make, and becoming a property investor, and also looking at what is investable. No, I think I will definitely take you up on that one, and we can have a chat about what to look for and what's the key elements regarding that. Charlton, I think we've got quite a lot of stuff that the viewers can actually, you know, marinate on. And I just want to say thank you very much for your time. I know your schedules are quite hectic. I've been trying to get hold of this man now for 2 weeks, and every time we have to reschedule. But you know, it's going well, and with the knowledge he's got, I think we're going to do much more videos on these type of topics. But before you guys go, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, while you're there, just like the video if you actually do like it. If you want to comment, just put it right at the bottom. I'll try to get back to you. Maybe if you want to actually, if you've got questions, or maybe want to have a video produced to your question, please put it underneath. And also smash that bell button so you can get the latest updates on our YouTube channel and the latest post. I really appreciate your time, and yeah, great stuff. I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Charlton.
Thank you very much.